Good morning, guys. Nappyhead Millie here, back like a bad habit, and today we're gonna do a Charlotta tutorial. Yes, we're gonna go over a little beginner tutorial of my main, but before we start, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. This tutorial is meant just to show the basics of what Charlotta can do. I'm not gonna show the advanced unless people ask, but just get a basic for those that might want to get into her and want to understand who she is and what she does. So, to start off, why should you play Charlotta? Charlotta is a charging rushdown character, and I know that sounds weird, but she's a character that you have to hold back and then press forward in the button to do her specials for Blanca Ball and for uppercut. But she's also rushdown, being that she needs to be in the enemy's face pretty much at all times to get her maximum damage off. Let me see if I can hit her. I'm tweaking right now. There you go. She needs to be in her enemy's face. So, pros, if you like, well, why the player? If you like a rush down character, if you can deal with playing charge base while rushing down. If you like somebody that has somewhat of a mix-up tool, and we'll get into this a little bit later, because I feel like Demon Flip is her most important move next to Blanca Ball, but I'll explain why. Yeah, that's why you should play her. Don't play her if you are afraid to take risks. Charlotta needs to take a lot of risk in her gameplay for her to do anything. If you're super passive, like if you play her as a guile, you're not going to go anywhere with this character because she gets punished for just sitting there, if that makes sense. I'm not saying go button heavy, go button crazy, but she gets punished for just sitting there and playing passive sometimes. So you need to know when to go nutty and when you need to play passive. Not because you want to play passive, it's a guarantee you need to play passive on this character. But that's enough of that. Normal's is straightforward. She has, for her to be small, she has a lot of deceptive range. This is her light. So this is her A for anime people. This is her light for Street Fighter people. Very deceptive range. Her crouching light isn't that good, but you can run in and dash with it. So it actually can catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. Her heavy, her medium, she stretches out. There is a frame, so there is a chance the enemy sees her, pulling her hand back, that they'll jump over it. But it's pretty quick. It's pretty reliable. That's her crouching medium. And all these can lead into something. Her heavy. Now, I love this move because if you catch somebody off guard, let me see if I can get a good combo with it. You catch somebody off guard with that, you're taking about what? That's about 58%. So I love that move. And then auto combos. That's medium. That's heavy. We'll talk about combining those in the combos later. But let's go ahead and talk about her special moves. Now, I'm gonna explain from weakest to the best move. Okay, her weakest move is actually her uppercut. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is her second weakest move. Her weakest move is the Berserker Slash, in my opinion. The Berserker Slash, yes, it's a combo extender, but you're not going to really use it outside of combo extending or setting up mix-up potential. So what I mean by that is, if I have him in the corner, keep messing up. One, two. And then you go into her Demon Flip. It's good. Don't get me wrong. When I say weak, it doesn't mean I'm saying it's a bad move. It's a great move, but it's going to be used only in combo situations, or you'll use like her light version, or my favorite, her medium version, when, let me put it on block for a minute to show a point. You'll use it in situations where your opponent likes to press buttons after you hit a button. So Let me see if I can get it. See, that's our medium. It gives a slight delay, and if I know they're gonna press a button, you can kind of catch them. People that mess up their DPs, you'll catch them slipping. Okay, so next we're gonna talk about her uppercut. Her uppercut is a combo ender, but it's also her invincible DP. Now, as an anti-air, it's not bad, but it arcs. As you can see, it arcs. So if the opponent is jumping at an arc, I did the wrong move, sorry. You have to sometimes catch them at the arc, because sometimes, if I can get it right, sometimes I'm not gonna get it right. Sometimes the DP actually goes over. It's weird, it like arcs to the other side here. So her invincible DP, if they jump the right way, basically if they're jumping at you and they jump at an arc, I'm sorry, I'm not playing on a regular controller, I'm playing on a pad, so it's kind of hard for me to set up situations. If they jump at an arc like this, if they jump at you at an arc, sometimes Charlotta can miss her DP. So I use it how I use it when I'm grounded and the opponent is rushing me down, something like this. Or I use it as a combo. Get a hard knockdown, go into demon flip. Now, speaking of demon flip, this is why I say this is her second most important move. Demon flip is... This is down. I know I have been saying the moves. I apologize to you guys. I'll go back and probably put the inputs. But Demon Flip has many priorities. This is our Demon Flip. She jumps into the air. If you let it rip, she gets a trip. If you press light, she takes flight. And her overhead. If you press medium, she got an overhead. I ain't got nothing wrong with medium. Let's go for Ukrainian, whatever. But yeah, she got some nice little overhead. Sometimes it cross over. If you do EX, she's crossing over the enemy. And speaking of that, I forgot one. Press heavy, she grabbing. And that's important. Remember that one. That's important. Now, why I say this is the second most important move on her, you have to think mix-up potential. Mix-up potential, for those of you that don't know, is making your opponent guess what are you going to do next. So 50-50 mix-ups. Typically, you'll see somebody, I'm going to go back to the Berserker Barrage. You'll see somebody do a combo like this. 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 boom. That's a typical Charlotta combo. That's our bread and butter. Now, what I do to catch people off guard is boom, boom, boom. Now you got to mix up. Now your opponent has to guess. Because once they already have to guess after the Berserker Barrage because you're going to trip. Now they have to guess again because now you have Demon Flip. And what do you do after Demon Flip? A word of advice, I'm going to do it with Charlotta. If you see, there's 3 situations that I'm going to use. If you see your opponent doing this, don't overhit. Don't overhit. No, I'm sorry. If you see your opponent, when you do Demon Flip, do this constantly, overhit immediately. Because what's happening is they don't know if you're going to let it rip or if you're going to light. And they're trying to judge it. That is the best time to come with an overhead because they're going to keep dodging and weaving. And particularly if you let it sit for a minute, you can drop it because it looks like you're about to go to the ground. So you'll catch them off guard, ducking every time. Now, if they're straight crouched like this, let me go to command. Where's it at? I'm tripping. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'll get better at this. They're straight crouching and they're blocking. It's the perfect time to do a light. Perfect time to do a light. Light is typically your most safe option and you can punish after it because you're safe in most situations. See? Especially if you do EX. EX jump, so you gotta space it right. Now you got, there's so many mix-ups you can get out of that. You can get mix-ups out of the trip. And last but not least, this is my favorite. You can get, as you get better with it, you can get combos like this, something like this. Let me see if I can do it right today. Hold on. I messed it up, but let me see. There we go. And that's gonna do about 63, 64, 62. But you can get mad damage off of that, and if I do it right with the grab, I messed up but you get the point. Grab, off a grab and off a trip, you can get EX, you can get hella damage catching somebody off guard. Let's see if let's see how much is this. 65% off of one combo if you catch somebody slipping on the mix-up. So that's why I say that is the second important move. And the most important is Blanca Ball. This is your best friend. This is your best friend. This is your best friend, and this is your best friend. You want to use this in any combo ender, almost any combo ender unless you're in the corner. When you're in the corner, of course you want to do EX, it's an uppercut. It's a setup. Great. You literally want to set it up. A Blanca Ball is your best friend against most opponents, and I'm glad I had her on block. Against most opponents, this is free. Light one is free. Catalina is a little bit different. Catalina is one of your counters. I don't think Catalina is a hard counter, but she's a good counter too, because she can punish most of your Blanca Balls. Minus EX. EX is the only one she can't punish with her 2B. But it's a good tool to know, use, get used to it. You're going to be random Blanca Balling a lot. I'm not saying being super nutty with it. The best thing to do is when you see your opponent backing up, you should be holding charge. As soon as you see them flick forward, they do a small flick forward, you should be punished. I'm getting punished. A good tip that I learned, if I can get it right, sometimes you can delay heavy. I ain't gonna get it today, but sometimes you can delay her heavy hit and then weave back. And if the opponent press a button, she'll be Blanca Balling right after it. She'll be Blanca Balling right after it. Other than that, we've seen her specials. Let's see. Special number 1, Mega Blanca Ball. 35% damage. How I like to use it is if I know I got the win, I'll just immediately into a combo. There's more advanced combos, but 42% for a special in the combo is not bad. It can, I don't think it's projectile invincible like some, so I wouldn't just willy-nilly throw it unless I guarantee you know it's about to hit somebody. But it's a good combo tool. Let me see if I can get a corner combo with it. I messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I messed it up. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm not gonna do it because I'm doing the input with the easy button to get it, but you get the point. After 2 hits, you want to do a combo. I honestly don't use that one in the corner. I don't use it at all, really. I use this one. I use my favorite one. I call it Captain Sword. Captain Sword is your It's a great anti-air. So if you catch somebody slipping and they're jumping at you, or they're jumping too much, catch them right out the air. So that is another one of your anti-airs. You get you a clean 45. It's a great combo ender.
Great.
Not close enough.
Great.
So a lot of stuff playing with me today. We got people watching. Okay, we got people watching. Do the fucking combo.
Great.
Unbelievable.
There we go. So this is the one after I cut out all the other ones that's better for you. It's 58, and then we've already seen the other not block a ball, demon flip slide combo. So that's the demon flip, but I like these specials. You got to use them correctly. Now, let's talk about some pros and cons. Let's talk about some cons. So the biggest con to Charlotta is she doesn't have a projectile. Now, to some people, that's not a big deal, and it kind of isn't, but her way of getting in versus her worst matchups, which I have a video on, I will link it, and it will be at the end title screen. Her worst matchups to me are Matera and Fairy. Matera and Fairy have the means to keep her out. She doesn't have a fireball to kind of combat and at least use it to forward herself in. So a lot of Charlottas you'll see, but she has a great dash. Look how much ground she covers. You're basically gonna be wave dashing with this character. I know it doesn't look like a wave dash, but you're basically, once people get the tech, you're gonna be wave dashing to get in with this character against projectile characters. So that is a big thing for her. Also, she has because of her range, she has a very lackluster anti-air game. This is her crouching heavy, or her 2C. For those of you that are anime fighters, that's her best anti-air. And then if they're up close and they're jumping, where is, yeah. As you can see, her other anti-air is standing B, so 5B, or standing medium. But it's because of her range, it's so unreliable. So you have to rely on that. Her flash kick. I'm not calling GP, but flash kick. And with that being said, like I said, if the enemy catches on and they jump over you, it's a high chance that you can whip flash kick, and now you're getting punished. I would say her nuttiness sometimes does reward and punish bad game knowledge. So if you're just button heavy, super button heavy, you will get punished with Charlotta. Charlotta is, you have to play nutty, but you have to play methodically nutty, if that makes sense. You need to understand that you have the tools to go in, but that's what makes you scary, is that you have the tools to go in. Her buttons aren't bad. Her buttons aren't terrible. Only thing that's really bad is her anti-airs. And not to say she has terrible anti-airs, they're just not as reliable as, let's say, Grand's standing heavy. No, crouching heavy, where he comes up and he knocks you out the air. It's not as reliable, but it still can get the job done. And even if it doesn't, you can get huge damage off. You get huge damage off if you use it properly. Last thing I would like to say, I feel as though she is a top 5 character. I feel as though Charlotta is a top 5 character. I think she's beat out by Gran, Catalina, Fairy. I want to say Lance. I say her and Lance are 50-50. I want to say her and Lance are 50-50. A lot of people like to say Lance isn't top 5. I think a great Lance is top 5. So I say the only people in the top 5 that can guarantee beat her is Fairy. Fairy should 9 times out of 10 beat Charlotte. No, I ain't gonna say 9 times out of 10. I say in the first to 10 it should be 6-4, 7-3. Fairy. If Fairy doesn't get in. I mean, if Charlotta doesn't get in. If Charlotta gets in and she can bait the DP, then Fairy's going to have a tough time. But it's the same with Matera. If Matera can keep Charlotta out, it's an easy win. If she can't, it's curtains. So, other than that, her matchups are pretty fair. I think only maybe 3 characters beat her. I don't know the Grand matchup 100%. I don't play Grands online a lot. But I know the Fairy matchup, to me, the Fairy matchup is hard. And that's to me. To you, it might be easy. To me, it's hard as hell. Matera, I have experiences with Matera, so it's not as hard, but it still is a hard matchup. Grand, I want to test out, but I think Grand is another pretty good counter to Charlotta because of how nutty she can play and how safe Grand can play with his gameplay and how deceptive he can be at max range. She utterly destroys Ladiva. Ladiva and Vaz, she utterly destroys. A lot of Ladiva mains won't agree with me, but Ladiva has a huge problem against Charlotta. So anybody that's slow, bulky, yeah, you're gonna have a problem with her. Everybody else is kind of even. Zeta, I haven't seen too many Zeta mains. Zeta might be another hard counter. I won't say I'll say a soft counter. Zeta might be a soft counter to Charlotta, but the 2 Zetas I play, I haven't really had too much problem. It's just kind of avoid their bullshit, avoid their charge, and you can honestly block a ball when they try and do their dash towards you, and you'll win every time. So other than that, that's the tutorial. I'm new to doing these, so please forgive me. Hopefully you get something out of this. I will do breakdowns of specials, put timestamps and everything so you guys can enjoy if you were trying to see a specific thing. But other than that, like, share, subscribe. Tell me how I did. Tell me if you want to see more of these. Tell me if you want to see some advanced tech that I personally have learned. But other than that, go ahead, share, like, share. Yeah, peace.